Okay guys, so let's jump right in. I'm going to be sharing with you the ingredients that I'm going to be using today to make my plant-based pizza. Okay, so first things first, you're going to be needing a bread or a crust. Now, you can make your own at home or you can get a store-bought option, which is what I did. And this is an ancient grain bread that I use. This just happens to be the brand that I'm using. We are not promoting any particular brand, but so that's our bread. You want to have some crust or some bread. And then you want to find whatever toppings you like, you can put on there. People put pineapple on their pizza, eggplant on their pizza. It really depends on what you like. Now for me, these are some of the things that I enjoy. This is going to be a healthy pizza, but also a very tasty pizza, all right? And we're not gonna add any cheese, but for those of you out there who would like to add cheese, feel free to do that, all right? So let's go over our ingredients real quick. We have some portobello mushrooms here. This is going to be my meat option, all right? So for people who are missing the pepperoni, you can absolutely substitute that with some mushrooms, all right? I'm also going to be adding some broccoli and peppers and onions, and I have olives here as well, and I have a little bit of garlic that I'm going to be sprinkling on. So once again, we have garlic, we have some broccoli, mushrooms, onion, peppers, and olives, and of course our sauce here. One thing to note about the sauce, if you're buying tomato sauce and you're not making your own at home, look out for tomato sauce that have sugar. So a lot of these tomato sauces have sugar, and you want to look for the brand that basically says no sugar added, or have a look at the label and see if there's any sugar listed. But a lot of these brands, if they don't include sugar, they're going to tell you on the front of the label, like this one did. All right, so be wary of that. All right, so now we're gonna go over to our stove and get started with making our sauteed mushrooms and peppers. Those are the two ingredients that we're gonna be cooking. Everything else is going to be raw. Okay, so let's get started. So I've already gone ahead and put a bit of olive oil in my pan. Feel free to use whatever oil you have, and I have that on medium. I'm going to go ahead and throw some of my red onions in here to saute the mushroom. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and throw our mushrooms in. Let's make some space for our mushrooms. And again, these are baby bellas. You can use any type of mushroom you like. Okay, so as you can see, it's getting nice and brown. What I want to do at this time is throw in some of my peppers, my bell peppers. So what we want to do now is throw some seasoning. We've got some basil. And I also have fresh basil that I'll be topping everything with. Okay, so now that our mushroom, peppers, and onions have been cooked, we can go ahead and get started with putting our pizza together. So here we have our dough, and we also have our sauce here. So any tomato sauce you have at home is fine. Remember to try and get the one that does not have sugar, all right? So we're gonna put a liberal amount on here. Okay, so now we have our pizza. All we have to do is get it in the oven. We're gonna use a stove top. And we're going to turn the oven on for 10 minutes on to bake. It's already on bake. Okay, so we are all done. I've taken my pizza out of the oven and here it is, looking absolutely delicious and ready to eat. I also have some basil here, fresh basil, that I've cut from my little basil plant. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and throw a little bit of basil on top, and it's just the basil leaves. And that's the last finishing touch that I'm going to be doing to this pizza. And we're all done. It's nice and hot. I'm going to just go ahead and cut that in 4 pieces. So before I go, I just want to remind you that plant-based eating is not boring. This is a fun pizza. I'm about to take a bite of it, but before I go, I just want to remind you guys to try to incorporate more plants in your diet. You don't have to make the switch to a plant-based diet, although it would be nice. However, just make sure that half of your plate you're incorporating a lot of vegetables, lots of fruits. That fiber is important for our digestion. It's important just for our overall health, all right? So I'm gonna try this pizza. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Let me know if there are any particular recipe that you'd like for me to do. I'd be happy to do that. Once again, Deborah from the Northwest Bronx Food Justice Project. Looking forward to seeing you all next time. Until then,